Heroes and Vampires. Part 1. Dead Year, Dark Sky. The year was 2056 when the world bled out. It wasn't fire or war or famine that ended civilization. It was something simpler. A virus, the kind that slipped through cities like smoke, silencing entire neighborhoods before people even knew they were infected. Hospitals overflowed with bodies, communication broke down, and fear spread faster than the illness itself. In less than 6 months, 2/3 of the population vanished. The rest changed. No one knows how the vampires emerged. Survivors whispered theories: biological mutation, a side effect of the cure, a curse born from humanity's sins. None of it mattered. What mattered was that at night, they came, and they fed. They weren't elegant creatures with capes and charm. They were hungry, twisted, pale things with black eyes and jagged claws, traveling in packs like rabid wolves. Some were almost feral. Others wore scraps of the old world: leather, chains, war paint, like death cults, bloodthirsty gangs born from the ashes of the fallen world. And then there was the one that stood above the rest, a monster among monsters, a vampire with a mouth that split 4 ways and eyes that gleamed with cruel intelligence. He wasn't just another predator. He was something else, something worse. The others followed him like a prophet. Survival was nearly impossible. Farming became suicide. Anything that bled became a target. Still, a few people refused to die. The convoy had been ambushed just before dusk. Burned-out vehicles stretched across the scorched Alabama road like broken toys. Blood soaked into cracked asphalt. Gunfire had long since faded, and the only sound now was the slow whisper of wind dragging ash across the wreckage. Under a shredded tarp, a little girl barely 9 years old held her breath. She clutched a worn rabbit plush in her trembling hands. Her dark curls were matted with soot and dried blood that wasn't hers. She didn't cry. Crying got you found. Then came the footsteps. Something crept along the edges of the wreckage. Thin limbs, a pale figure moving low and fast. The vampire slithered through a shattered car window with bones snapping grace. Its head cocked as it sniffed the air, its lips peeling back to reveal rows of fangs. It took 1 step closer to the tarp. A sharp crack rang out, followed by a sickening crunch. The creature dropped like a stone, its skull caved in. Jack stood over the body, his chest rising and falling slowly. He was tall, about 6'3", with brown skin darkened by sun and soot, and armor pieced together from scavenged tactical gear. In one hand, he held a steel bat, notched and stained. His eyes glowed faintly for a second, then dimmed. The girl stared up at him. "It's safe now," he murmured. She ran to him, hugging his leg tightly. He rested a hand on her back but didn't speak again. More footsteps approached, measured, disciplined, unlike the feral ones that had come before. 9 others moved down the road toward them, their shadows long in the dying light. They came from different walks of life, different races, ages, and accents, but every one of them was shaped by the same fire. Survivors. Fighters. Drew Titan walked at the front. He stood a full 6'4", a light-skinned black man with short cropped hair and thick forearms inked with tattoos. His face was calm, always calm. He didn't shout orders. He didn't need to. When Drew moved, people followed. He surveyed the wreckage, eyes pausing on the girl clinging to Jax. "How many?" he asked. Jax didn't look up. 3, all dust now. Drew gave a quiet nod. "We keep moving." They walked for hours under a sky darkened by smoke and storm clouds, past fields overgrown with thorned weeds and skeletons of power lines bending under their own weight. The world was a graveyard, and every mile they traveled reminded them of it. Jax carried the girl on his back when her legs gave out. She didn't speak much. She just watched him with those wide, tired eyes. When she slept, it was always close to him, like his presence alone could ward off death. The group finally took shelter in the husk of an old auto repair shop. Someone strung cans across the entrance for an alarm. Others unpacked what little food they had. The girl curled up beneath Jax's coat and fell asleep against his side without a word. Drew sat nearby, sharpening a blade, the firelight flickering across his face. "She called you uncle," he said after a long silence. "That true?" "No blood," Jax replied. "Found her after a raid a few weeks back. She clung on. Didn't let go. She's got better instincts than most." They said nothing for a while. A distant howl cut across the night. Not a wolf. Something worse. Neither man flinched. Drew leaned forward, staring at the fire. "You feel it too, don't you?" he said quietly. "That pull? When the blood hits the dirt?" Jax's jaw tensed. He stared into the shadows beyond the firelight. "I keep it buried. Just make sure it stays there." Jax didn't answer. Later, when the others slept, he lay awake, eyes open in the dark. Memories clawed at the edge of his mind. Visions of blood, steel, and screams. His hands tearing through walls. His own reflection, warped, fanged, covered in gore. The memory of losing himself and coming back broken. He closed his eyes and tried to breathe. Far beyond the ruined highway, something shifted in the night. Something huge. It moved like a shadow wrapped in smoke, crouching behind a crumbling water tower, its eyes glinting as it watched from afar. The monster didn't speak. It didn't need to. It simply waited. And it was hungry. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your time and support. If you enjoyed this story, please check out the Cryptid Encounter Stories channel for more gripping tales. And be sure to keep an eye out for the next episode right here. There's much more to come.